What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Sigelei Duo 3. So this is the latest and greatest from our friends over at Sigelei. This is the Duo 3, a switchable device from 2 to 3 batteries, hence Duo 3. And in 2 battery mode, it goes up to 175 watts. In 3 battery mode, it goes up to a whopping 255. So this thing has been in my hand for the greater part of the past month. I have been using it almost exclusively, especially with this big old dripper on here, the Elite V2 from Armageddon, and I absolutely love it. So before we get into this video, I do have to state my intent by saying that I did receive this product for free from the manufacturer for the purpose of doing this video. However, it has no monetary value to me, which means my opinions on it will remain honest and unbiased, of course, as always. With that being said, I would like to give a huge shout out and thank you to the people over at Sigelei for sending this my way for the purpose of doing this video. Really do appreciate taking a look at this beauty right here. So you have lots of different color options with this device here, 6 to be more precise. As you can see here, I've got the black one. There's also a blue one, a gold one, a gray one, a red one, and a silver one. I'll put a picture up right here for you guys to take a look at that. With that being said, this device goes for 50 bucks online, which really isn't bad. You know, a lot of times I look for value in a mod, and I'm seeing a whole lot of value for your money with this device here. You know, it's just one of those things where I can see myself using it in different situations, and that's exactly why I pick out the mods that I like. So with that, yeah, lots of value to this one here for your money, and if you want to pick one up for yourself, I got links right down there in the description. So let's get this video moving. Let's go down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so here we can see the Fuchai Duo 3 2-cover version. Yes, there is 2 versions of this device out there, so make sure if you're looking this up, then get the 2-cover version if you want that 3rd battery door. So, with that being said, Fuchai 2-cover version, Duo 3 with a nice little spot varnish on there, which is a nice touch. On the bottom, Fuchai again with the Sigelei scratch-off authentication thing. You have a UPC, another Duo 3 logo, and on this side you have this little kind of curious QR code. I haven't scanned that yet, so put your phone right up to the screen and scan that thing if you got a QR code reader. On the back we have another Duo logo, Fuchai logo, specifications, package contents, a legal disclaimer, and all that normal stuff. Yeah, pretty plain and simple. Taking off the cover, we have the Duo 3 in its 2 battery configuration here, which we'll take a look at in just a second. We have the 3rd battery cover, if you want to use it in 3 battery mode. And my best friend in the world, a nice little USB cable. A little bit extra long one, which is kind of nice. I like the longer USB cables because then I can charge it and use it as a pass-through at the same time. Normally I put my batteries on a charger, but sometimes, in case of emergency, it's always good to have your best friend, Mr. Micro USB cable, around. Anyways, let's dive down into the bottom of the box here. User manual. Oh, look at that, a booklet. A nice little, fairly easy to read booklet, although the printing is a bit small and it is a bit wordy. It's better than those stupid fold-out giant poster-sized things that you get with some of the other devices. Anyways, you have the warranty card information if I can ever get it out of the box. Not that you guys really even care to see the warranty card, but there it is. Please keep your original receipt in several different languages. And last but not least, this last little certificate. Oh, it's just the QC thing. Alright, let's take a look at the mod. So here is the Duo 3 in all its glory. Let's quickly take a look around the mod as we talk about some of the specs. So in 2 battery mode, it goes from 10 to 175 watts, 1 to 7.5 volts, or 0.1 to 3 ohms of atomizer resistance. It does have a preheat function. Temp control supports nickel, titanium, stainless 316 and 317, TCR and TFR, which is temperature factor of resistivity, which I learned today. I learned something new today. Yay! Resistance read and lock, 5-coil memory bank, which is your preset functions, and 200 to 570 degrees Fahrenheit for temperature control. So bottom button and rear battery access door, accepts two 18650s in this particular mode, or three obviously in 3 battery mode. It features a 1-inch vertically oriented full color display which shows atomizer resistance, output voltage, output current, battery state and battery life indication, output wattage, output temperature, and a puff counter. It features a micro USB charge and update port which has a 2.5 amp maximum charging rate, which is really good for quick charging. This thing is going to charge really quickly with the USB. Trim and striking design, of course, as you can see here, very cool looking zinc alloy, aluminum alloy chassis, stainless steel 510 connection with a spring-loaded gold-plated 510 connection. So there we go. Pretty cool looking little device here. And just a second here, I'll pop the third battery door on so you can take a look at it. So to install your batteries, all you have to do is line them up with the proper terminals. They are marked on the inside of the sleds, which is kind of a nice feature there. So positive down on this one, just like that. Then we have positive up on this one. Got to get that little ribbon just right. Slot your batteries in, fold the ribbon over, and install the other battery. And just like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and clip that back battery door on. Boom. And we're good to go. So you'll see a little splash screen, which is only about, maybe a second or so before this thing is all ready to go. Right now I have it in wattage mode. So to get into the menu, all you have to do is click the button 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this menu will show up with all your different options, of course in full lovely color as well. So you have stainless steel, nickel, titanium, and TCR. So there you go. I'm just going to leave it in power mode for right now. If you want to lock your wattage in, all you have to do is press and hold the bottom 2 buttons here, and that screen will come up. Obviously, since I'm in power mode right now, it's not going to make any difference. In order to adjust your preheat function, the fire button and the up button here, press that, and the preheat function menu will pop up. And if you want to lock your button, just the fire button and the down button, and the button is now locked. So pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. You guys should be kind of somewhat used to this sort of menu configuration by now. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the buttons goes. The power up and down is a little bit slow. I find this thing tends to take a while if I'm trying to adjust from 75 watts all the way up to 100 watts. Just kind of a pain in the butt as far as that goes. But in other aspects, I feel like it's not that bad, because a lot of times when you have those mods that go really fast, then you kind of tend to miss the power that you're shooting for. So there we go. So that's pretty much all I had to say about the Duo 3. And yeah, there's a little bit of wear and tear on the body itself, but you know what? This thing has been through a lot already in its short life with me. So I could definitely tell you that it can take a lot of wear and tear and a lot of kind of dings, damage, just throwing it in my vape bag, etc., etc. So anyways, that's pretty much it. That's all I had to say here in this close-up section. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. So let's start it off today with the pros, and my first pro is that it's so versatile. This thing is great because you can switch it from 2 batteries to 3 batteries and vice versa. So with this thing here, if you want to go out for the day, if you want to go out for a short trip or to the beach or, somewhere where you don't necessarily need 3 batteries worth of power, then you can just switch it over to 2 battery mode and be on your way. And in 3 battery mode, this thing lasts me about a day and a half, even at my normal 100 to 120 watts on this particular setup like I've got it here. If I want to run it at 2 battery mode at 100 watts, I'll get about a full day out of it still. So with that, plenty of power, plenty of battery life, all around just a very versatile mod. So speaking of power, my second pro today is that this thing is powerful. It's a powerhouse, it's a power machine. In 2 battery mode, you get 175 watts. In 3 battery mode, you get 255 watts. watts. So with that, let's say I want to run a dripper at 150 or 175 or even 200 watts, no problem with 3 batteries, and you're still going to get a lot of battery life out of it. And I think 2 battery mode is more suited more for the kind of tank systems out there. 80 to 120 watts-ish is definitely kind of the butter zone for that. And it's no problem with 2 batteries in this thing. And my third pro today is that this thing is built like a tank. I absolutely love the build quality on it. I feel like I can, knock it off a table or off my lap or something like that right onto the floor, and it's not going to shatter into a million pieces. So this thing is rugged and can definitely take your normal wear and tear of daily life. And yeah, it's going to get a few scratches and nicks here and there, but honestly, I don't really mind that. It kind of gives it a little bit more character. And yeah, it's a little bit heavy, it's a little bit weighty, but at the same time, with all of my stuff, with my camera gear especially, I like a little bit of weight to it. It just makes it feel like that much more quality. And my fourth pro today is that it fits the huge Addies. This is the Elite V2 by Armageddon, and it's huge. It's 28 millimeters in diameter, and it fits on the Duo 3 no problem at all. It actually has a little bit of room to spare. This thing can fit up to a 30 millimeter completely flush, and comparing that to the 200S or the RX23, they can only fit up to a 25 millimeter. So with that, you get plenty of room to spare on this thing, and even in 2 battery mode, it fits the big atomizers no problem. I've been using a lot more of the bigger RDAs and the bigger tanks recently, and I really needed a mod that would fit it. I was kind of worried that I was not going to find anything that this Elite V2 was going to fit on when I brought it home from Tampa, but luckily I had the Duo 3 sitting there and it fits like a dream. And my fifth and final pro is the big bright screen. It is full color, and I don't think that's really necessary, but it is kind of nice to be able to just kind of glance down at your mod and be able to see your battery life really, really clear in full color, as well as your wattage. It's very clear what wattage setting you're at. It has different colors for the different wattages, and I just think that is awesome. It's very bright as well, so comparing that to a lot of the other mods that have been getting in recently that have that kind of black plastic, kind of smoked kind of screen covering to it, this thing is a lot more clear and a lot brighter and a lot better in my opinion. Alright guys, so moving on to some cons. My first con today is that the juice channels that are meant to wick the juice away from the 510 connection actually kind of do the opposite. And what I mean by that is there's these little channels right at the top section here, which you saw in the close-up view, that are meant to kind of like draw the juice away from the 510, hopefully to not, get it into the 510 connection and then into the mod. However, it kind of is just a place for juice to collect. Now, I get a lot of residual vapor that comes out of my RDAs or my tanks whenever I'm done taking a hit off of it, and the juice just tends to condensate right there, and the top of my device gets all covered in juice and it's all sticky and nasty and gross. So I tend to have to wipe this thing down about 20 times a day, which kind of is a pain in the ass, and it's kind of working the opposite that it should, especially with these little screws at the top here, the little Allen headed screws or whatever. Those tend to collect a lot of juice as well, which kind of defeats the whole point. And my second con today is that the battery tray doesn't quite grip onto my batteries as much as I thought they would. Now that's kind of worrying to me because I figure in order to have a good solid connection with your battery, it's got to be in there, it's got to be pretty rigid in there and kind of difficult to get in and out. And this case here, you can pop those batteries in with ease, and I feel like if I took the back cover off and I just give it a little shake like that, those batteries would be on the table in no time. So, it's kind of worrying. I don't think it really affects the overall performance of the device, and I don't think, anything's going to happen while the batteries are in here and it's all locked together, but it's just something to think about. And my third con today is it's tricky to get the timing right for the menu function versus the on-off function. Now, the menu function is 4 clicks of the button, and the on and off function is 5 clicks. So, a lot of times when I try to shut my device off, I'll try to click it 5 times. It'll go to the menu, and I'll just throw it in my bag thinking I shut the device off, and it'll start firing and freak me out, and I'll get all worried about it. But it is just kind of a pain in the ass dealing with that. A lot of times I'll just accidentally get into the menu or accidentally shut the device off. So yeah, I really hope they kind of update that and fix that issue in a future firmware edition. My fourth con today is a bit subjective, and I just feel like the RX series of mods is a bit more comfortable. Now, the RX series has that nice diamond shape to it, so it's almost almost universal, whether you're using it right-handed, left-handed, you know, firing the button with your finger or firing it with your thumb. It just kind of feels right no matter which way you use it. This one here kind of feels right, you know, in the hand like this here, just firing the button with your finger, but it feels a bit awkward firing it with your thumb. And that's just my opinion. You know, a lot of you out there are really not going to care about this, so I'm just going to shut up about it. And my fifth and final con is that the battery door can be a little bit iffy. Now, what I mean by that is that when you're done changing your batteries and you're clicking that battery door into place, sometimes it doesn't quite latch on one of the sides, which doesn't affect the performance. The mod still fires and works properly, and I'll just catch it out of the corner of my eye where I'll see a little bit of my battery wrapper just peeking out on the side here, and I'll just have to click it back into place. Now, this can be an issue if you're going to be putting it down on uneven surfaces, and it might actually end up clicking that little button on the bottom that releases that battery door. So be aware of that fact if you're planning on getting one of these things. That can definitely cause issues in the future. It's time for the big one, the question of the hour. Would I go out of my way to purchase one of these things if I didn't get this one for review? And my answer would be yes. And the reason I like this thing so much is because it's a little bit different. You know, I've been using the RX series of devices for a very long time, and it's just time for a change. You know, I really like this system. I really like the versatility of it, and it's just kind of that much more different than the RXs. And in my opinion, this thing absolutely blows the RX 2.3 out of the water. If you're planning on getting an RX 2.3, don't. Get this thing instead. It's going to be a lot better for you. The RX 2.3 has a known issue to it where it has a little bit of solder at the top battery connection that usually breaks, and that just kind of bricks the entire mod. So far, so good with this one here. I feel like the connections are all nice and solid. I really don't feel like anything's going to break on this thing anytime soon, knock on wood. But with that being said, if you are planning on getting a switchable mod, switchable device, put this one on the list. I really feel like the Sigelei Duo 3 is definitely a nice device. It's a thing to behold, and it fits the bigger atomizers like I mentioned. So that is just kind of a big selling point for me personally. If you guys want to pick one of these things up for yourself, make sure you check out the links down there in the description. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right down there by the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts all about the Duo 3 or anything else you guys want to talk about. Check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description below. Also, you can get a daily Vape TV t-shirt. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.